This is the mayor of Blacktown. Today is Monday, October 1st, 2012. And I received two notices, one from my Facebook friend and another from a Blacktown citizen about a new book that is absolutely prophetic. It's called The End of Men and the Rise of Women. There it is right there. The End of Men and the Rise of Women by Hannah Rawson. Now, this book is very prophetic because it serves to prove everything I've been saying about we're in a gender war with feminists, and that we're in the age of the distortion in gender roles, and that we're in the age of gender politics, sexual orientation politics, and alternative lifestyle politics. And some of you have heard me and heeded what I've said, yet others you haven't. And of course, I consider this new book an absolute sign from God and an omen of how right I've been all along. And of course, this book, I was made aware of this book, ironically, just as I said I was done making videos. Yeah. But usually I say that, not often, but I've said it before, because I believe in signs from God. Strange coincidences. Yeah. And there's no doubt that this book, The End of Men and the Rise of Women, serves to prove everything I've been saying. And quite frankly, it's nothing new. I mean, it's feminism. Yet the black community has been absolutely clueless to feminism. And of course, black people are clueless to a lot of things until white folks invite us or recruit us into their crusades, into their lifestyles and orientations, and etc., etc. I've been trying to tell black men that it's time for the men's movement, but not enough and not a lot of black men have been heeding my call for them to understand manism. Manism is the opposite of feminism. Yeah, manism. Yet many black men, he wants to continue to create this impression that he's such a ladies' man. Well, if you love women so much, then you would man up and protect them like a man is supposed to do. And that's why a man has muscles that a woman doesn't have. And a man has corresponding chemicals and nerves and reflexes that a woman doesn't have. Period. And like I've said before, and I say religiously, black women have had 40 years since feminism gave black women their so-called freedom, liberation, and independence. Yet, like I've said before, and I say religiously, what movements have black women started with her freedom, with her billions? None whatsoever. A woman by the name of Elaine Brown was supposed to take over the Black Panther Party when Huey P. Newton was in jail. Elaine Brown hasn't done a damn thing, and apparently she is actually still alive. Yeah, in 2012. The new Black Panther Party was formed by some black men. So this alone proves it's not in a woman's nature to lead men. Yeah. And I can't speak for white women, because white women, they have resources that black women don't have. Yet black women do have a lot of money. Yeah. Black women do have a tremendous amount of influence, but she's not using her resources. Yeah. Feminism in the black community has been an utter failure and a disaster. There's nothing to talk about. It's been a disaster. Typified by so many things. At the top of the list is the sagging pants crises with black boys and the fact that black women don't seem to be annoyed about it. I mean, isn't that a contradiction? I mean, now that black women can actually criticize black men or black boys for their sagging pants, they don't. And it's not my imagination. It's because young black girls think the sagging pants is cute and sexy. Yeah, the bad boy look. Insane, utterly insane. But I don't get mad because I know how God works. And I know how nature works. And anyone who understands child psychology and man psychology and understands gender role, you understand that when the cat's away, the mice will play. In other words, this is the dysfunction that occurs when you have a community where men are not in authority. I said this is what happens when you have a community where the men are not in authority. So this video was just to say, I told you so. And this book is an absolute sign from God and an omen that once again crushes my critics' mouths. And a similar thing happened in 2003 when the Newsweek was released. Yeah, the Newsweek, the March 3rd, 2003 issue of Newsweek that talked about black women and how much power and authority and influence they have. So that means black women can't complain about men and so-called and supposedly being oppressed by men. That means black women can't complain about being the proverbial damsel in distress and cat up the tree. Woe is me, cat up the tree. No. The March 3rd, 2003 issue of Newsweek quantitatively affirmed and acknowledged that black women have a tremendous amount of power and resources that they're not using, quite frankly. Yeah. Yep, the evidence is utterly and absolutely overwhelming. It's time for the men's movement. Yep. It is time for the men's movement. It is time for black men to rise up and crush what I've said is absolute witchcraft. Anytime a woman wants to defy a man's authority and challenge a man's authority for no reason other than spitefulness, that's witchcraft. In other words, if you want to lead, then go ahead and lead. Yeah. Yeah. Because you see, men keep other men in check. That's how the world has been built. It's called war. So women are not exempt nor immune from war and double standards. Yeah, double standards. Black women have failed to lead. The evidence is absolutely overwhelming. I've documented it in hundreds of videos. And then as soon as I say I'm going to stop making videos, something happens like this new book, The End of Men and the Rise of Women. Yeah. Now, what if a black woman had written that book? It would be an affirmation that women have authority, and this is something black women heretofore have yet to do. Admit that they have tremendous authority. This is the mayor of Blacktown. All the strong black men, let me hear you say, amen.